Hi, everybody. We're the Good Doctors of Abbey Research. I'm Dr. Kristen.
I am Dr. Erin.
And we are two social scientists with PhDs in social sciencey things. That essentially means we love talking about how humans interact with the cultures around them and what that can mean and what we learn about each other and ourselves as we move through the world. Our YouTube channel is a lot in service of that, and you'll find videos on here of everything from what does body shape diversity look like in Bridgerton to what we all should know about conservatorships in America based on what we're learning about Britney Spears. We love having these conversations with each other. We do it all the time. We turn on recording devices for y'all because we love talking about them with you too. So please comment below, like, subscribe, do all the YouTubey things. We also, and let us know what you think about this video and all of our others.
This video is our continuing adventure around the world that we are calling our Colonizers World Tour, where for the better part of last year, we were like, so this thing called colonization, it's a pretty big deal.
Bit of a thing.
We don't talk about it a lot.
Nope.
So we decided to talk about it and view different cultures and peoples and traditions around the lens of colonialism and colonization and how that process influenced their culture and what's going on in those locations today. So we've spun the globe for this chapter, and we are in Portuguese colonies. The biggest one of all being Brazil. If you saw our 101 yesterday, we are fascinated with Brazil, like fascinated.
And also mystified.
And also so mystified and blown away. And there's no possible way we could spend enough time on Brazil. There was just so much. So we'll be covering it next year. If you watched our 101, you'll hear more about it. We will also continuously tell you. So today's video is the piece of art we found from said country, and we love rom-coms. We love romance. We found a Brazilian rom-com, and you guys,
it's delightful.
It is if you can tell how joyful we are, we literally just stopped watching this and then changed to film.
Ebullient is the I feel ebullient.
I feel light and airy. Like cotton candy.
We giggled a lot.
This movie is cotton candy. What did we watch? You ask? I didn't even tell you. We're so excited. We watched love.com or amor.com, depending on where you're reading the translation. IMDb, Amor. It is on US Netflix as love.com. It is a 2017 rom-com about two vloggers, a fashion vlogger and a video game vlogger that fall in love. It's an opposites attract. Can they make it work? They're from two different worlds. What did we learn about Brazil from it? Not a whole lot, except that Portuguese is fascinating and we don't understand its origins. And so we'll be looking into that more, especially when we get to Portugal later this month. Yeah, it's a bog standard rom-com.
Yeah, just top to bottom. And yet it also wasn't, because it was a whole lot more about what relationships and adulting kind of look like. They got together at the 30-minute mark, and the remaining hour of the rom-com was about how do you do life with people, and what do you compromise for each other, and what don't you, and how do your dreams coincide together. And there was at one point they broke up at one point, spoiler alert, and they handled it exactly how everyone I know who has ever gone through a traumatic breakup has handled it. I mean, it was just so real.
Yeah, and there were larger themes that I thought were really valuable because it's set in the vlogging world, and kind of influencer. She's a very high profile fashion vlogger. So she has a lot of followers. She gets recognized everywhere. She has to deal with people posting things on her on social media about her that she doesn't like or doesn't consent to. And she goes through this whole transformation. Our Katrina does it. Katrina and Fernando, main characters. Katrina goes through this whole transformation of realizing that the person she had become online was a version of herself she didn't like.
Yeah.
So there were some heavy hitting themes as well about, and then even Fernando's confession at the end was I was so scared of who you changed me in, of who I became with you, that I shut down and ran away. I was what is this emotional intelligence? I mean,
And he's also a giant nerd, and the representations of nerd culture were perfect.
they were so good.
Like it's the endearing love of something. And one of the things that I like as I was watching this flashed back to my Welcome to My World interview with Aaron's brother, where he said essentially we're all nerds for something. And so Katrina was a nerd for fashion. Like she was totally into it, you know, made her whole living by it. But also there was a lot of Fernando's misconceptions about Katrina's life that a lot of people have about fashion and beauty vloggers. I felt like I was watching Toddy Westbrook as I was watching Katrina go and talk, which is, you know, very ironic in some ways, but it's not just because you love something that doesn't make sense to somebody else doesn't mean you're vapid or shallow.
Right. Yeah. And so it was like, it was heavy at points, but not overwhelmingly so. The only thing we noticed, but also don't know enough about Brazil really to comment on beyond noticing it. But we do know that race and skin tone are very big issues in Brazil.
Yes.
It's very complicated history relating to slavery and all kinds of stuff. We scratched the surface of it in our 101, but we did notice that there was a lack of skin tone diversity, particularly in the actors with speaking and starring roles. There was also a lack of skin tone diversity in most scenes of the movie.
Yeah.
We don't know what that says. We don't know if it's intentional. We don't know enough about Brazilian culture to comment on it beyond that is something that we noticed after we had studied a little bit about the very, very complicated history of race and ethnicity and identity and skin tone color in Brazil. So we're just putting a note on that.
Yeah.
We can't really say much more about it, except we did notice it. And, you know, it's one of those like humans are humans everywhere. Like we've watched very culturally specific movies on this Colonizer World Tour, set in different places where it's like, this could only be in Saudi Arabia. This could only be in
Iran. Offside could only exist in Iran.
Exactly. Yeah. But there are ones like this where it's like humans are humans
everywhere.
Whether you're speaking Portuguese or Farsi or French, whatever.
Yeah.
And the way they integrated technology, we loved it. It was because it's 2017, so there was like text messages and Instagram and all this kind of stuff. The only thing we wish they would have done was give subtitles for the Instagram because like things happened on the gram and we were like, I don't speak Portuguese, so I don't know. All I know is Linda is beautiful and I keep seeing that, but then I see other words and I don't know. But other than that, the translations were really good.
Yeah.
Obviously it's in Portuguese and so there's subtitles. And it was pretty easy to follow. But yeah, the tech was really, I enjoy when they incorporate.
I like it when it looks like it's the 21st century.
Yeah, Sherlock was like the first TV show to like do that, where they incorporated text messages like into the, and they did it really seamlessly. It was done by loads of young Brazilian folks. So they definitely knew what they were doing. But yeah, 2 thumbs up.
Big fan. Also, the Netflix algorithm is now giving us more Brazilian rom-coms, which we're not sad about.
Apparently, there's several, so
we're not upset. We'll be watching them later. If you want a review on those, please let us know.
if you find more, let us know. If this is a genre that we should explore, I think we probably will, because we watched a Nigerian rom-com in February for Black History Month. And we didn't love Nigerian rom-coms as much. We weren't as into genre.
Nollywood as we are into Bollywood and now Brazilian.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if we're going to have to like search I don't think there's an industry like Nigeria or India, but if it's a genre, we like it and we're going to watch more of it.
For sure. And that wraps up Brazil for us for now. Bookmark, rejoin us in 2022, where we're going to spend an entire month looking at various items in Brazil. We may watch more rom-coms for levity because
Brazil is some heavy stuff, man.
Brazil's some heavy stuff. Next week, we are heading to Angola, which is an African nation on the west coast of Africa, if you've never heard of it before, and one of the largest oil producers in the world, also a former Portuguese colony with its own specific history of slavery and colonization. So we'll be learning about that to be able to learn alongside you guys, and we'll see you then.
Take care, everybody.